Hey, we're back again. I'm back again. I just want to jump into it today. I actually tried to record this episode a bit ago. And I did record the episode, but it was trash because I don't know. I recorded it midday, and midday my thoughts are not fresh. So I was kind of jumping all over the place. Now it's 9:30 a.m. on a new day, fresh thoughts. So we're starting off fresh. I wanted to talk about, I hope this doesn't sound annoying, but I wanted to talk about creating your own excitement and learning how to enjoy your solitude or your alone time. Because a lot of times we think that we need to be doing something at every single moment of the day. And I'm kind of going off the top of my head right now, so bear with me. I was going to do an episode actually today on combating negativity, but I'm still learning how to do that. So this starts off as a story time, I guess. So when I was living near campus, I was living off campus. I think I explained that in my last podcast episode or something like that. I was living off campus, but near campus. So I was with a bunch of college students, but just basically in apartment housing outside of campus. So you just had a little bit more freedom or whatever. And there was a lot less going on, I think. But like in a dorm, I feel like you would have a lot going on, or somewhat a lot. Like, like people doing college student things, around. But when you're in an apartment, there are college students. Everybody's, I'm pretty sure, a college student. And they're still doing their own thing, but they're really doing their own thing, if you know what I mean. So there's not much going on. Maybe on weekends you'll hear people outside, or you'll hear that there's a party at somebody's apartment that I didn't really take part in because I didn't really know what's going on. Like my roommates would go, but like I would be like, I don't know. So during this time, it was about a year. I'm not gonna say a year. It was the majority of the fall and spring semester. I spent a lot of time by myself, and I learned a lot about myself, I think. And I found a lot of comfort in who I was becoming, because I thought I had already become who I am. But when you spend a lot of time alone, you learn yourself a lot more. Or you don't, or you get more confused. I don't know. But for me, I think I learned a lot about myself, and I became a little bit confused. But it's all a learning experience. Yay. Anyway, so when I was there, and when I tried to like go out and make friends, there were like these campus events, right? You'd go on campus, and then they'd have some events for the newer students, or the, arriving students. I was a junior. I transferred in. So I wasn't like a freshman coming in there. I was a new junior. So I was a transfer student. And they would have some events for the newer students. But I tell you what, I tried to go to one of these events. I could not find this event. I feel like it was a scam. Or I was just late. I couldn't figure out where to park because I didn't have a parking pass, so that ended up making me late. And then I went to the event and no one was there. So I was like, this was a waste of time. My point is, I tried very hard to make friends at first, and then I exhausted myself. So I ended up not trying as hard as I did when I first got there, which resulted in me not having many people to talk to, and it resulted in me spending a lot of time alone. I don't know if many people deal with that in college, but I spent a lot of time by myself. So during this time, you have to make fun for yourself. How do you do that? Well, that's what you got to figure out. It was definitely a daily thing for me. I tried to occupy myself with positive things, but it's really hard to not just want to lay in bed all day and watch Netflix. So I had to really try to get myself up and get going, and do something. My main pastime though when I'm bored is painting, and I feel like that's a positive thing. It's definitely a positive thing. So that's what I would do. I would get up, do some painting, maybe grab some lunch from somewhere, come back, do some more painting. And I honestly enjoyed that. Like I really did. It was really therapeutic. But you can only do painting so much before it starts to get boring itself. And I don't want to get bored of painting, because painting is like what I feel like is going to be my life, and I can't get bored with that, okay? So I had to find something else to do. So I'm sitting there looking up like new food places that I've never tried. I'm looking up like, I don't know, just things to do, like a coffee shop. I don't know. Campus events. I was trying to figure out what can I do to occupy myself and possibly make a friend. There were some events that I went to that totally left me socially drained and unfulfilled and underwhelmed, and there's another word, like unsatisfied, I guess. Discouraged. That's the word I was looking for. Because you go to these events and it looks like everybody came with somebody. You know what I mean? Everybody came with a friend, their dorm, their roommate, their friend that they met in class, I don't know, somebody. They came with somebody. And I'm over here circling and walking around this room like, okay, I know no one. I literally watched someone find somebody from high school. Like, oh my gosh, what are you doing here? And it just made me feel sad. So I left. I left the event. No one was stopping me. I was by myself. And I called my mom. Because that's what you do anytime there's a minor inconvenience. But I did that so much towards the beginning of my first semester there, and I just socially drained myself. So I stopped doing that. Again, I had to find something that was going to positively entertain me. Around this time, I also started a business. I started my art business. I started selling my artwork and prints and stickers, and that definitely occupied me. That was a positive way to occupy myself, not yourself. I'm sorry. So I was sitting at my laptop, making these prints, making these stickers, and making like new paintings that I can make into prints. And I was sending them to different print shops and getting my P.O. box together and my supplies for shipping. And I did get orders. I'm not lying. I did get orders, and it was kind of cool. I was like, this is cool. I like this. And then you get bored again. I don't know if it's just me, but when I start doing something for too long, and too long is not really probably someone else's definition of long. Too long is for me is like a couple months. When I start doing something, I get very like, okay, what's new? We got to change something up here. Before I jump into some more positive ways to occupy yourself, or positive ways that I occupied myself, let's talk about some negative ways. All right, you don't want to... And I'm not going to go like negative, right? I'm just going to go into like a basic negative way to occupy yourself. First way, I think it's really hard to not spend money when you're by yourself. If you're like a college student, I'm sure you don't want to spend a whole bunch of money. That's like the last thing that you want to do. And when you're by yourself, it's kind of hard to make fun without spending money. Whether you're spending money on food or spending money on gas to drive you on a long drive to nowhere, or I don't know, you're just spending money. I would go to the grocery store and just buy groceries. For what? I don't know. They would usually just go bad in my mini fridge because I didn't need those groceries in the first place. Or I would go to Hobby Lobby and just spend money buying paint and paint supplies and art supplies. And yeah, I would go on Amazon, just buy some stuff. Like it's hard to like occupy yourself without spending money when you're alone. Because what else are you going to do? I didn't want to be in my apartment because my apartment was extremely uncomfortable. I think I explained that before. If you don't know what happened, I think I explained it in my last podcast episode. It was extremely uncomfortable and I did not like being there. So what was I going to do? I had to go out into the world. So how do I occupy myself out in the world without spending money? Well, you sit in your car and you think for a while. So I got in my car. At least I have a car to get like true private time, quiet time. So I would go in my car and I would sit there for a while, kind of staring into space, trying to figure out what do I do. And that's kind of what I did sometimes. I would just spend like an hour sitting in my car with the windows down because I didn't want my car running for an hour. That's not good. Not like moving. I don't know. It might not matter, but I'm not a car person, so whatever. So I sat in my car for some time, probably staring into space, obviously scrolling through Instagram and TikTok. And that's not a cute way to occupy yourself. Because when I put down my phone after scrolling through TikTok and sitting in my car by myself watching the sunset, I was not fulfilled at all. I just wasted a bunch of time when I could have been doing something productive. Here was my problem. Here was my predicament. I'm trying to, like, I know I might sound like I'm all over the place right now, but here was my predicament. I challenged myself to not spend money, right? But all that did was had me, like, sitting in my car or sitting in my bed in my room, scrolling through Instagram or watching TV. And that was just not productive. And I ended up being more frustrated and more bored and more, like, annoyed when I finished because I didn't accomplish anything. I didn't spend money, but I also did not accomplish anything. So I just ended up in the same situation that I was in. You shouldn't go out and just, like, spend a whole bunch of money. Or I would go to, like, Forever 21. I would go somewhere like that and just try to, like, just spend money so I can fill this weird void of loneliness. But I don't know if I was lonely, though. I was just alone. I wasn't lonely because I do like being alone. But I was just bored. Like, it's hard to make fun when you're by yourself all the time. I would talk to people my age sometimes. And they'd be like, oh, what do you do for fun? Like, what do you do? And I'd be like, I don't really do much. I don't really know many people down here in this area. I don't know anybody, really. And they're like, well, you should get out. You should go and, like, do something. If you don't know, I go to UCF, which is in Orlando. And they're near Disney and Universal Studios. So they'd be like, oh, you should go to Universal Studios. Like, that's fun. Like, that's something to do. With who? Who am I supposed to go to Universal Studios with? By myself? Or they'd be like, oh, you should go downtown Orlando. Downtown Orlando. Okay, yeah, that's a no as well. By myself? Go to downtown Orlando for, like, clubs? No. Are you kidding me? I'm sorry. I can't. My body will physically not allow me to do that. I am a very cautious person when it comes to stuff like that. If I'm going somewhere like that, I need to have somebody with me that I trust or semi-trust, whatever. Someone that I know won't ditch me. At Universal Studios or Orlando. Like, or downtown. Whatever. So conversations like that always frustrated me because I felt like people that had friends and were extroverted or they had basically enough people to talk to, they just can't comprehend what it's like to literally not have one person to call up and be like, hey, you want to go literally to a coffee shop? Hey, you want to go to wherever? It doesn't matter. Just let's hang out. Let's do something. To not have one person to do that with is hard. And I don't think people understand really what that's like because they usually have people that are like, oh, I don't have any friends, and like they make it known, like they say it. They usually have at least one person or one acquaintance that they can call and be like, hey, what's up? I feel like, that's from my point of view, that's what I think I see, but maybe not. But what are you gonna do? Try to explain that to them? No. Whatever. But anyway, back to occupying yourself. What do you do with yourself? So another negative that I think is just sleeping all the time. Sleeping the day away just to, like, make time pass. Yes, maybe you're fulfilled in one way of being not tired, but you didn't accomplish anything. You just slept all day. So you can't sleep all day. I don't know. Now that we've established the negatives, which are spending money, scrolling through social media, and sleeping for hours and hours on end, let's talk about some positive ways. And I know I already touched on this at the beginning of the episode, which was painting. That's a personal thing for me, though. Not everyone paints. But, hey, take up a new creative hobby or a creative something. I know I said don't spend money, but take a class. I don't know. Do people do that my age? I don't know. I feel like an old person. I literally wanted to take a pottery class. But is that old? Like, I don't know. Like, oh my gosh. I really do, though, want to learn how to do pottery. Like throwing, the pottery, whatever. I don't know. Like on the wheel when it's spinning and the clay is going everywhere. I want to do that. But is it normal for a 21-year-old person to take a pottery class on the beach at 2:00? Because that's kind of my situation. All I'm saying is try to take up a new hobby or like a new creative hobby. I mean, I see a lot of people crocheting. Do that. Will you have to spend money on supplies? Yes, but at least you'll be occupied longer than, if you were to just go to get something to eat really quick. Learn how to crochet. Learn how to draw. I don't know. You'll just something creative. Photography. You might not have a camera, but hey, I'm sure you hold in the newest iPhone. Go outside, take some pictures, and then go inside and then edit them. I don't know. I'm trying to give y'all some ideas. I don't know if it matters to you, but do something positive or creative. Because creativity isn't a necessity if you didn't know. I'm pretty sure, well, I'm not saying that, like I'm not like a certified person to say that, but I think from my personal experience that some creativity is needed because you need to use your mind in that way. So do something creative. Anyway, what else can you do creative? You can read. People don't read. Read a friggin' book. Go to Barnes and Noble. Spend some time there. See, this is like what I like to do, but this is by yourself. Go to Barnes and Noble. Walk around the aisles. Grab your Starbucks. Walk around the aisles. Look through the books, whatever section and genre you like. Pick up a book. Buy it. And read it. Do you have to finish the book? No, I'm not asking you to do that. Just try to read it. You might find something totally amazing in reading, and then that might be your newest hobby. Then you might want to write a book, and then whatever. I don't know. So those are my creative things. Another thing that you could do, which is probably going to sound annoying, but work out. Go to the gym and lift some weights. I tell you what, I used to hate the gym. Until I ventured out into the free weight section or the dumbbell section. A while ago, when I used to go to the gym, I would do treadmill for like 20 to 30 minutes. And then I would go to like the sit down leg exercises or the sit down arm exercises. And that would be it. And then I would go home and I'd be like, why do I hate the gym so much? But now, and it took me a lot to get to the dumbbell section because I was like, I don't deserve to be over there. I can't be over there. I don't want to get in people's way. I don't know what I'm doing. But it really does not matter. No one cares. Go to the dumbbell section and lift some weights. Look up some exercises and lift some weights. It really does. Like, you forget everything for an hour because you're focused on doing something good for yourself. And then it's so positive because you're taking care of your body. Like, you can see weightlifting in your body very soon. Like, you could tell, like, oh, you've been lifting weights. Maybe not other people, but you can because you know who you are. And there's nothing better than feeling like you're doing something good for your body and it's starting to be noticeable. But if cardio is your thing, do cardio. I mean, if you can run on the treadmill for a long time and you can zone out and like that's your thing, do that. But for me, I love doing a little treadmill, a little cardio in the beginning, lifting some weights, and then at the end doing some more cardio. I don't know if that's healthy or if that's right. I don't know. I'm not like a gym person, but a super gym person. But I love doing that. I love lifting weights. And then the next time I lift a heavier set of weights, then I'm really focused and not thinking about my issues or being alone if I am insecure about it. I'm able to just like really forget, and anxiety goes away for the time being. I'm sorry, I couldn't get that out. The anxiety goes away for the time being while you're lifting weights. It really does. And that's all I need. That's all I could ask for. If my muscles didn't get tired, like if I didn't get tired, I would stay in the gym longer, but I'm up to an hour right now. I'm in the gym. Anyway, go to the gym to forget some of the things for a little bit. If you're like feeling way too overwhelmed and like you're about to like lose control of your emotions, go to the gym and you will be good for at least an hour. Try to stay in the gym for at least like 45 minutes. In my apartment complex, they had a mini gym. And I knew the times that people wouldn't be there, which is like either early, like 9 in the morning or 8 at night. I went to the gym actually one time at 10 p.m. No one was in there. It was the quietest, most therapeutic, comforting thing ever because I could lift weights without anyone looking at me. I had the entire place to myself. I actually dimmed the lights a little bit because it was like, it was way too bright in there. I turned the lights down a little bit, put my earbuds in, and I lifted weights for like an hour and some change. And it was great. I went home, it was like 11 o'clock, took a shower, got into bed, and it was like, and I felt so good. And I had a good sleep, and it was great. That's one thing I miss actually about living on campus is the cute little gym. It wasn't cute, but it was a small, tiny gym. Another thing that you can do that I think is very therapeutic, and I just posted a video on TikTok where I was doing this, is baking or cooking. Following a recipe and being focused on it and being focused on trying to make something good, taste good, or to your liking is very therapeutic because you're focused on something other than whatever your issues are, and you don't need anybody to do it with you, and you're by yourself. Very comforting. I cooked a few things. Like I said, I would go to the grocery store and buy groceries for no reason, so I had groceries. And I'd be like, okay, I need to cook something. So I would make I made some type of chicken stir fry with like veggies. Oh my gosh, it was so good. With like zucchini and broccoli and mushroom. And it was like a stir fry type dish with like soy sauce. It was very, very good. And I would make that, and the kitchen would be like dark. I always like to like dim the lights a little bit, because that just makes me feel like I'm in a better mood. I'd play some like R&B or soul music, and I would get into it I would blast it in my ears literally because I did not want to hear anything. And I would cook and I would zone out and I would enjoy the time. And it was very enjoyable. But that was at college. And I don't know if many college students have what I had, but I did have a full kitchen because I was in apartments off campus. So that's what I would do. And then the even better part is to eat a healthier meal, not like Chick-fil-A or McDonald's. Like you're eating a healthy meal that you made and you took your time to make, and it's fulfilling and it makes you feel good. It's just something else that makes you feel good. If you had went out and spent like $10 on some fast food and came home, ate it, and didn't have any like leftovers for even like the next day, you probably wouldn't feel as good as you would if you cooked your own meal and you had leftovers for the next day and you're like, oh, I made this last night. Yep, that was good. Let me have some more. I don't know. I feel like cooking and then baking. Oh, I love baking. But the thing about baking is that when I was by myself, I always make too much because the recipes always go for like, I was making blueberry muffins, but recipes always go for like 10 blueberry muffins. They don't go for like 4, which is all I need, if that. So like I would have all this extra food. My roommates never like really shared food, so I wasn't like handing them out or anything, and whatever. I don't know. But baking is so comforting as well. It's so chill. I love it. Check out my TikTok, by the way. I posted a video. It's kind of a while ago now, but I posted a video of me like baking and like trying to be like therapeutic because I was not having a great day. And at the end of the whole thing, I felt way better. I'm not going to lie. It was great. Go outside and take a walk even. Like going outside and taking a walk on a beautiful day. If it's raining, I'm sorry. If it's raining where you are, I apologize. But if it is a beautiful day outside, no reason to not be out there. Go take a walk. Get some fresh air. There's nothing better than fresh air. And I would even suggest don't even like have your earbuds in. Just listen to outside. That's therapeutic too. That's calming. It's so calming. I just did that the other day. I did that yesterday. And then a few days before that, I went to the park and I walked around the park. Did I have my camera with me? Yes, because it was a beautiful scene. I was taking video and pictures, and I think I might like turn it into a YouTube video, but so calming. The view was absolutely amazing. Water, just a bunch of land. It was a nice little trail. It was a little chilly. because it was windy and the temperature just dropped in where I am. It wasn't like cold or anything. It was 60 degrees in Florida, all right? You know, people were shivering. I was fine. But, so yeah, take a walk. Take some photos while you're taking a walk, or not, or just enjoy the scene. And just like, try to relax and try not to think about it too hard. And know that if you're spending a lot of time by yourself, you should enjoy it, because you may never get that time back. You might enter a new chapter in your life without even knowing it, and you'll have to be somewhere at all times. You'll have to be with somebody at all times, and you may never get your personal time back. So I think you should definitely enjoy your personal time if you do have it. If you have quiet time, a lot of quiet time, enjoy it. You don't want to lose your quiet time and your solitude and then realize I should have enjoyed that when I had it. And then like while you're not in that life, while you're in a different chapter in your life and you're around somebody or people a lot more, you don't want to like be like, oh, I wish I can go back to that point in time. Enjoy the time while you have it. And then when you're ready and when people are invited into your life, that's when you enjoy that time. There's nothing much you can do right now about how many people are in your life. I mean, you could change it. You could try to go out, but unfortunately, I don't think it's that easy to just invite people into your life in a positive way. So while you have it, enjoy it. And I digress. And that's all I'm saying for today. But thank you for listening to this episode of Introverts Talk 2. My name's Kirsten and I'm your host. I don't think I said that in the beginning of this episode, but my name's Kirsten. I'm your host. And I really appreciate you listening. So I'm going to be trying to post podcast episodes, I believe, on Tuesdays. Tuesdays will be my day to post my podcast episodes. So look for my episodes on Tuesdays. And I really appreciate anyone that's listening, anyone that likes the podcast, anyone from TikTok or that's seen that I've made a podcast. I really appreciate you. And yeah. So if you want to follow my TikTok, my personal TikTok, it's at .KirstenH. My art Instagram and my art TikTok is at Kirsten Arts, the way it's spelled. My name is spelled in the cover of this podcast. So it's Kirsten Arts with an S at the end. So thank you for listening. I really, really do appreciate you listening. And I hope to have you again in the next episode. Okay. Bye, guys. Have a great day. And go do something positive. Okay. I'm done. Bye.